We're super excited. We're out here on a job site. We got our excavator unloaded. We have our product. We got that unloaded off the truck this morning. That product actually came up from Florida, US Paverscapes. You can see on our truck, we have our bar box, we have our dust decks. Our bar box has all of our tools organized in it, so we're simply gonna unload that, have everything we need for the job site. We have a Bahler Brothers trucks with us today. Thanks to them for letting us use that. And we're gonna be showing you kind of the organization of this truck and the equipment that we have. So we're unloading the bar box. Mechalek is a really cool machine. You can see we have the set of forks on it. Has a couple different cylinders, making it a machine that you can lift some heavy weight with. But we're gonna unload this bar box here, and you're gonna notice one thing about this Bahler Brothers trucks is we have fold down sides on all sides. So we have 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, and you're gonna also notice that we have 3 coal chutes along the back. That's gonna allow us to put bedding material in there, put the bed up, get that material out of the back with wheelbarrows or even the machine. We are on site unloading block and pavers, so we have extra pallets on site with these fold down sides. It allows us to fold these down and be able to put those pallets in there. You're gonna also notice another thing. They have a piece of rubber that goes along the side, so when you push this up against this edge, the number 8 stone doesn't fall through, cracking windshields. So just a couple things that we've done with these trucks to try to mitigate having issues. So this is a unique feature that we've used on all of our trucks. We have a little pin here and a little door, and then in there is our screed rails, and then over on this one is our flex line. So anytime we're doing a curved walkway or a curved patio, these come out, we put those together, and these are actually Versalock pins. For those of you that know the Versalock product, we take these, we grind them down just a little bit, and it works with the Schedule 40, and we put those together with those Versalock pins, and that allows us to get our nice curves. So again, that's just a simple way, pin it. Another thing we've done on some of our trucks is we've actually run tubing down the side of the truck, the frame of the truck right here, and that tubing has a little cap on the end, and we can actually then slide our pipes into that tubing, and it has a screw cap on the end. So a couple different ways we've done it in the past, but yeah, our screed rails are right here. So when we get to the job site, come in, we pull our screed rails out, and we're ready to get started.
Just got our bar box open. It's all super exciting. It really makes it simple to get all your products from your truck out into your backyard, your working area, where everything's literally at your fingertips. So saves that time of going from your job site in the backyard to the front yard, grabbing stuff out of your truck or your trailer, but being able to keep stuff super organized in here, kind of knowing where everything is. And for this particular project, we were able to fit basically all our tools into this box, everything that we're gonna need for producing the job. For a grade,
and that was the only advantage I could see.
Let's do for you, watch your use. Level's right there, so what's that up? 2 inches?
Yeah.
But if we're not gonna sweep it in,
Right.
and we're just gonna leave it, then it'll be easy enough to pull a piece out.
Well, with the white cement stuff, we've had some really weird results with the
Poly sand.
poly sand.
So we're here on a project. There was an existing contractor that came in and built this retaining wall around the outside edge of this property. Didn't really come to us and ask about heights and elevations, so we got a little bit of a couple funky spots. So we're just gonna run through it here. Typically speaking, this would be done ahead of time before you get out on site, because this is obviously going to slow up the process of the job. We're going to take about an hour to go through our heights and elevation, make a game plan, but due to the situation where we're out here doing some filming, getting some tools, we're just going to kind of go through and show you what this would look like. So we're going to zero out on the bottom of this step coming out of the door. This is going to show us exactly where our heights and elevations are there. So we're going to zero this out with the smart level. And then anywhere we go on this job site, we can get our heights and elevations. So this is 1 3/8 inches lower. So that's going to be great. We're going to be able to get the water away from this step. We're going to shed it out to this outside edge, 2 3/16. So it looks like he's pitching this wall down to this bottom corner here. As we get the project started, we're probably going to set up a slope laser. This works awesome to kind of get some rough heights and elevations. And yes, we could use it. We could take the distance between these points here and find increments along the way of our heights and elevations and use this to say set our pipes as we're screeding this project. But again, when we have a slope laser, it does make it a lot easier to get our heights and elevations. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set up that slope laser so we can do just that. So we do have a little bit of a funny spot here. So as we go down to this point here, right, we are, so that's 4 1/4 there. Okay, but we need to make sure that these doors open, so we have to stay below this. Okay, so we're gonna go here and here, and now we are, looks like 5 7/8, so 4 1/4 and 5 7/8. So we can write that down and figure out that distance. What it looks like is this kind of pitch around here just a little bit. They're gonna be putting in a 52-inch by 52-inch shower enclosure in this area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a wall out 52 inches over to here, and that's going to allow us to keep this area following the pitch of what we want. And then we're going to be able to make that transition around this point down into that shower. The shower enclosure is going to cover the back of this retaining wall here. It'll cover this wall here, and you're going to have your door into the shower enclosure here. Whether it swings in or out, it doesn't matter. And we're going to put in a Pave Tool drain here to pitch all this water into. So those are our heights and elevations. As we keep coming around here, there is another spot where it gets a little bit funny. So this we're going to keep just the way it is here, and we're going to write these heights and elevations down on our plan here. This is a project that we're doing here, just laying the pavers and screeding just to show our equipment. So our plan is certainly not the best plan. We would typically have it done in a CAD program. Okay, 5 1/2. We're gonna put it here, 5 1/2 inches, and these are all FG, meaning finished grade. Keep going through here. You knucklehead. You can't move that, you clown. There's one important thing I do want to point out is
we interrupt this program. Just kidding. Hopefully you like what you're seeing so far. This is something we're going to continually do now to upload these projects. This is one project we'll be doing over the course of 3.5 days. We'll also be moving on to another project. But make sure you subscribe below, turn on the notifications. This will allow you to get this content and help you be successful.
There's one important thing I do want to point out is do not bring the camera people with you on the job site, because they move your smart level receiver, which messes up all your heights and elevations and makes you have to start over. Thankfully, it's not like you have to do much math to get back on track, because you just simply come over here, you press the zero out button, wait till it beeps, and boom, we're back to zero. So, all right, it's not that bad, but still frustrating. 4 1/8. I do -4 1/8, and I put FG. Now again, like I said, contractor was already on site here, did this wall. I don't think he used the wall screed system. If he did, he would have a little bit more of a level wall, and we don't want to knock other contractors, but certainly not the flattest. But hey, we're gonna make it work. Now, I do want to point out while I'm doing this, I'm doing it kind of the old school way, but you could take a drone, put it up in the air, take a picture of this site just the way it is right now, upload that picture into your phone, on the Smart Leveler app, and then we could take our phone and we could actually go around this job site and get all of our points, heights, and elevations in the system, upload it into a 3D software, and then we would have this whole project updated in a 3D software. So there's a lot of technology within the Smart Level. Again, I'm just using it for heights and elevations, but typically speaking, we would be using this out on site in preparation for our design work. Our design work has already kind of been laid out because we're within the means of this area. And then the last point I need to get is that front corner there. Thanks, John. Otherwise that would have moved my receiver and I would have been mad at myself. Not the camera people this time. 6.5. We're gonna take off this top cap piece here and we're gonna slope this from this point down to that point. He has that level. We would have to obviously slope 6 inches from the bottom finished grade down 6 inches. That's really gonna throw this off and make it look funny, and we'll have a really funny spot. So what we're gonna do is actually slope this wall so that it slopes down to that point. So if we didn't have a slope laser, we would come down here and we have 19 foot, let's just call it 19 feet for easy math. Okay, so we have 19 feet from the step down to this point here. So if we wanted 6.5 inches, I'll do it in inches, so I'll times that by 12, equals 228, so 228 inches. Okay, so we take 6.5 divided by 228 equals 0.02 every inch. Now we times that by 12. So we need 0.3 for every foot as we come up through here. We could take the measurement from here. Right, so this is 12 feet. So then we take 0.34 and times that by 12 feet equals 4. So we would drop 4 inches, so this would be 4 to here, 4.1, right? And then the remaining 2 inches from here down to the step. So that will give us our height and elevation. Now, like I had said before, we're gonna use a slope laser. So we're gonna set our laser up here. We're gonna we have a slope finder in it, so we're gonna get our 0 point here. We're gonna have it find the slope, and then we'll just set a pipe here and a pipe here. We'll set that wall on whatever that slope is, and it's done. So again, you can go through and do the math, which you have a chance of messing your math up, and who knows, I might have even messed it up, right? Or you can use a slope laser like we have easily with Slope Finder, find that slope and get your height and elevation. So there's tools out there to make things a lot easier. Now, math is math. It just takes a little bit longer and more of a chance to mess up. So whatever they used for glue was a really good glue. So as a camera lady, what would you use that wall screed for?
Set your wall level.
And so how would we set? We set each pipe, or?
Put your pipes down.
Yeah.
Use your laser rod.
Yeah.
Get to your right height.
Yeah.
Screed off.
Screed off. Okay, so that's a testament to how simple the system really is, right? So someone that's never done it before, on the job site here, told her to grab the wall screed. She knew what it was. We're out on site. I asked her a quick explanation of what you do. You set the pipes to the laser, you screed it off in between, and you got a level setting bed. How simple is that? Would you rather me give you those, or would you rather me give you a hammer and a level and say level those up from here to there?
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Okay, so we have our laser set. If you wanted to, you could drop a pendulum down from here, but that's really where you want your 0 point when you're using a slope laser. We have our X or Y plane facing one way or the other. In this case here, we want to get our X plane to go from our step down onto our cap down there. Now we need to get 0. So I actually took this level, which is 3 inches, and our base needs 3 inches. And I got that level with where we want it to be. That's gonna be our finished grade height. I'm gonna bring this thing up, turn it on, of course. Okay. And, okay. So you can see I'm using the laser rod here. And the laser rod's awesome because I'm able to use this telescoping pole to get my heights and elevations. He has the laser set at 0, so I can make my height differences here. So if I knew, again, 6.5 inches out there, at that point I need to be 4 inches. I could go up 4 inches, plus the height of my cap and block, which is 3 3/4, plus the block width, right? And I can do all that math within this pole, making it very simple. Like I had said before though, we have a slope laser, so I'm gonna use the slope capabilities of it. We're gonna use our X plane, so we have our 0 there. I'm gonna go down here to our finished grade. Finished grade up there, I got height. Finished grade on the cap down here, got our height. I'm gonna press this little button here with the guy standing like a pole, just like I'm doing here now, standing here, just gonna wait for it. We're gonna press that button. It's gonna pull up X catching slope. X slope faces this way. I'm gonna press the OK button, and I'm gonna do exactly what it tells me on that screen where the guy's standing there just like this. And we're gonna wait until this slope laser finds it. You can see it's starting to find it here. This might be a good time to check emails. Being productive. Voila, that easy. So anywhere I go in between here is gonna give me that slope. So now in between here, anywhere we go within this plane, it's gonna give me my height and elevation. Now we wanna set this wall block height, right? So we're gonna take the height of the wall block. I can take this height, 8 inches, our cap, 3 5/8, so 8, 11, and 5/8. So we can then go up our story pole, and this is the ease of it. 0's here is our finished grade. I'm gonna go up 11 and 5/8. Tighten up our laser, and now we're all set for our base height. Okay, so we know that's where our base height is. So now we're gonna set our pipes, and then we'll be good. Some days I get luckier than others. I just put this pipe in and it's beeping solid. Let's see what this side tells me. So because the house is there, I'm gonna be able to get the back of that pipe, but I will not be able to get the front. We'll use a little torpedo level and a little Sim 60. We'll step on the pipe, tap that down until we get this pipe level. So we're perfectly level right there. I'll double check the back side. And a little trick that I've always learned is you can actually take this laser rod. You want to make sure it's nice and straight. So we're going to put that up against the side of a house or something that's straight on the property. And that's how we know we're level, or plumb, I should say. Right? And then that's what's going to dictate. If I'm off like this, I'm going to get a different height. My laser rod's straight up and down. It's going to give me the right height. So we're good here. Hey, not bad, Kenny.
First time.
Now, so we're laying out the wall screed. We got our first pipe set. Make sure you don't pull this chain and pull your pipe out. But the benefit of this is these pipes or chains are 5 feet apart. So our 6-footer fits in between it every time. Set this pipe. Not bad. Wow, it's really my lucky day. Hitting every single one here, level and perfect. We're good. Down just a little bit. Remember I talked about that trick, lining it up. Perfect. So we're ready to screed this off now. Now you can use a couple different things. You can use a screeder package, or you can use the level And again, you don't necessarily have to, on an open grade based system, do this if you don't feel as if it's necessary. Everyone has their own opinion. Mine is consistency, so this is the way I do it. And this also helps get some of those 3/4 inch stones just below the surface so you're not pulling them up when you're screeding those number 9 stones. We're ready for some number 9 stone, and we'll get that screeded off. We are all set with the wall screed. Let's put it back where it belongs so we're not creating a mess on our job site. All right. I like working smart, not hard, so we're going to use the excavator to bring the block from here to here. I know it's not a far distance, but it'll make things a lot easier, save my back. Want to hook the chain up? We got the squares lined up off of the existing block over there. I'm using this 2-foot level to plumb and give me a line down below. Okay, and then we're going to be able to use our chalk line to give ourselves a nice straight line across here. Right there, go ahead. Okay. Now we have a nice straight line to go off of when we're installing our block. You can see that little trick, putting this on the backside so the block is actually tilting back down. It's allowing us to set that back of the block on that line. All right, so we have our little step going in right here. And you can see I have my hand tamp. You can use a jumping jack as well, or a plate compactor to compact the front. But it's always important to compact your front of your wall just as much as it is the back of your wall, because this is toe, that's what's holding it. So what we're gonna do is stand on the block here, so we're not moving it. We wanna make sure we compact the front, because that's gonna help support the front of this wall. Now, in this situation, it's only a little step, so it's not a huge deal. It's not like it's holding a 10-foot high wall, but still good. Get in the habit of compacting in front of that wall and hold it in. And then we'll get our stones set in the back, and we'll do that same exact thing. And again, gets me done with this application. I have a hand tamp, so we're only going 1 row. You really like to use a plate compactor, preferably Weber, or a jumping jack. Like my father always said, you go through, hit it light the first time, and then he'll go through, hit it hard the next. So there's one nice thing about using this by hand. It doesn't help with the back so much, except for when you're up in the air. But the nice part was when you're setting it down, you'll see how I put my elbows on my knees. So when I'm setting stuff into place, it definitely makes it a lot easier to set these pieces in. Voila.
So a lot of times you'll hear a couple options. You want to either do glue front to back in strips, or I prefer actual dots because they can get a fair amount of material on your block and you're going to make sure you're going to make good contact. We a lot of times will pull up the next block up. That allows you to set it up a ways and then slide it back into it without shearing the glue off of that product. A lot of times we'll pick up a bit to get a little air into that. You want to make sure you get a little air contact in there. That helps with the adhesion. And you also want to make sure you're connecting to different blocks.
So we started screeding here. We're using the screeder package with the 6-foot blade, being able to stand up and screed, which is really nice, not on your hands and knees. And then we're using a laser, a slope laser, to set our screed rails. So you see here, we're using a couple different style screed rails. We're actually doing some testing on some different screed rail options. But we're using this slope laser. We got our 0 at the top of the step. We dropped it 7 there. And we did the X or Y slope finder, because this is our Y distance out to here. Got our Y point, and then we just dropped it an additional 1 7/8 inches, which is our height for the bottom of our paver, top of our bedding layer. And so I'll show you here. Right? So we're getting these pipes nice and perfect down through here. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go another little 5 foot, 5'9" or so that our 6-foot level fits again, and we'll set another set of screed rails right down through here. So everything's a perfectly nice plane and gives you a nice level area. So we're using the laser. We're gonna be setting our pipes here. This is level. We'll work our way right down without taking out the pavilion here. There's just a little bit more here. Oh yeah, okay, we're good.
So once we pull the pipe out, I normally will take a full shovelful and I'll throw it like in a rolled motion. It leaves a nice little windrow up where that void space was. And then when I take the screeder package, I can extend my handle out. That'll do a full 10-foot length that I can reach out. But again, with stone, feel free to step on it. Now it's just a matter I can push back because I didn't quite make it all the way. But once I'm there, it's just like floating concrete. I'm just going to drag this out, making sure that I'm not digging in on my 2 ends. And all I'm doing is just mirroring those edges. I can drag that right out. Doesn't get much easier than that. So in this particular application, we do have a couple of grades coming together that get a little bit screwy in this situation. So it is perfectly fine. If you can get your final grade of your bedding layer, you can use a string line. You just got to make sure, because the string line can get a sag in it pretty easily, you got to pull for all you're worth and really make sure that you got this nice and tight. But once you pull this super tight, and again, I'll kind of pull this way, and drag it out, and then somebody working alongside can just get the pipe set to exact height with that string line. So this particular application, it's literally taken 3 of us to get this set, where using a slope laser, I can simply get that set to height and grade and just literally get the pipe set with a laser. It's a one-man job. So pros and cons to everything. This is a simpler solution if you don't have access to a slope laser and know exactly how to run that. This is a simple solution. It's been working for years. However, slope laser is the right way. So nice part about that screeder, you're just letting that blade fill up and just pulling back your excess. Let it fill up, pull back your excess. You're not physically pushing down on it. You're letting that tool do all the work. So the nice part about this, we have full adjustment up and down, but with this particular project, we're keeping our bedding down 1 3/4 inches. So I am going to swap this around so that I can accommodate that easier. So it's just a matter of pulling this out. Just want to make sure you can adjust this all different ways to accommodate what you're trying to do. So if I do it this way, I'm going to be able to set this right up. And I want 1 3/4 inches. So somewhere there, let's see how close I am. So inch, oh look at that. Eye hasn't failed me yet. So 1 3/4 inches there. That allows us, you don't want to lose this. We're going to do our screed board kit mounted to this. It'll extend out 9 feet. That gives us the option then to run this right along here. That'll get our bedding. So we have our maxi gauge. I've got it set to the right height, but then it couples to our screed board kit. So this just slides right in here. Then there's a sliding arm here. It's got a little tab on it, and that just slides in. And all I'm going to do is just lock that down. It gives me a perfectly level area where it meets together here. But now I'm able to run right off of this cap and right over onto our screed board. I'll be able to get this graded out absolutely perfect.
So a little trick here, I want to match the top of this block when I build this little back retaining wall or step that we're putting in here. And to do so, people will say, well, hey Caleb, you got stone on top of this. That ain't gonna work. Well, I put stone on there because I want to pad it up. When you take that chip stone and you screed it out, chances are it's gonna settle down just that little bit. So we put a little bit of chip stone, number 8 stone, so it's keeping us up about 1/8 of an inch. I will readjust to get my height. All right, so we're good there. Now I know that my block is 7 7/8, and I'm gonna do a paver as a cap here just so that it all blends in. So 7 7/8, and that's 2 inches. So I'm gonna go 9 7/8 to the bottom of that height, and we're ready. We're gonna do the wall screed here. So we'll set some pipes and screed that off. So we're gonna have a little shower enclosure here, and because the heights get a little funny, we're gonna be building a wall here, or essentially a step here, and then back that way, so you'll step up inside of this little shower enclosure in here. So we're just getting our pipe set here. So that's gonna be the face of our wall technically. Hold me here, we'll do another 53 here, go up to the top of the cap. Okay, 53. Same thing over here, okay, 53. Now with the wall screed system, again, we always use the wall screed system on something like this. You're gonna see I put this pipe in here at a 45. So this is gonna allow me to screed this one and this one. So we're not setting 2 pipes, you're not setting one here and one here. We're setting that one on a 45 in that corner, and then we'll continue going around using our pipes and set this one right over here. And you'll notice I'm keeping that back just that little bit, because we do have this piece up here, so we won't be able to get it with our laser rod nice and straight. And the other thing I try to do is keep this about the width of the hand tamp, so that way I can tamp in between this distance here. So we'll get these now set with a hand tamp and a laser. And another trick here is putting this along the side You can see our hand tamp has this brace. If you go square, shorter distance, and it doesn't have the bracing, so there's a chance of bending it. The other thing you're going to notice here is I'm doing this by myself, right? So this is a system and process that can be done with one individual, and it's very easy to do. I'm not working hard, not breaking a sweat, just tapping down those pipes into place. Once we're all set with our heights, we're good to go. We're going to get a little number 8 stone.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. Tell you, it was pretty exciting. Got here, had a few challenges between unloading and getting the site worked out here, just due to the amount of room and whatnot. But we got set up. We got everything graded, which is ultimate, yeah, to perfection. Looks awesome. And we got a chance to lay some pavers. Reset a little section of wall to help with the grades around here, because we got some compound grades going on. And left a section on the far side. We're gonna have some turf going in there to soften up this whole backyard. It really is exciting, but it's coming together, and look forward to tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this useful and beneficial. Be sure to subscribe below, turn on your notifications. We will continue to upload the rest of the videos from this project, as well as future projects to come. You can sign up for our tip of the week here.
You can watch more of our videos here.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel here.
And make sure you shop our products at pavetool.com.
If you're located in Canada, you can shop at pavetool.ca.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing you next Friday.